Tonight's Skeem Saam was wild. It felt like one of those episodes where the drama just doesn't stop. Khwezi was deep in chaos with Mkhulu, while the Kamela family was going through it emotionally. So let's get into it. The episode opens with Khwezi and Mkhulu walking down this random back hallway, and immediately you can tell something's off. Khwezi's already suspicious, asking him where he's taking her, and honestly, I don't blame her. This backway excuse dodgy. Mkhulu says it's to avoid stairs, but she's not buying it, and the two start arguing over money. Mkhulu threatens to tell Lehasa everything if she doesn't pay him, and Khwezi fires back by calling him a fake sangoma. The tension here was thick. You could see Khwezi trying to keep control, but Mkhulu wasn't scared of her at all. He demanded that 100,000 rand, like he knew she had no choice but to pay. Then things got dark fast. On the staircase, their fight reaches boiling point. Khwezi says there's no network, but Mkhulu accuses her of lying. He threatens to expose her to Lehasa, saying she denied him an heir, and that's when it happens. Khwezi tries to stop him. He pushes her, falls down the stairs. When she screamed, it sent shivers down my spine. At first, you think, okay, maybe she'll get up and keep arguing, but nope. When she later finds Mkhulu lying in a pool of blood, it hits you. This man's gone. Khwezi's panic in that moment felt so real. She's crying, shaking him, begging him to wake up. For once, she looked genuinely guilty. Not manipulative, not scheming, just human. Meanwhile, across town, the Kamela family is going through their own emotional roller coaster. Kwaito gets a call from Zamo that Mantuli's been admitted to hospital, and the way he reacted really showed how strained that relationship still is. He tries to sound calm, but you can tell he's worried. Turns out, Lizzie thinks Mantuli might have had a stroke, and honestly, that moment hit deep. Seeing Kwaito sit by her bedside and say, "I don't like what you did, but you're still my mother," was probably one of the most touching parts of the episode. Then back to chaos. Khwezi's panicking, trying to call for help, but her phone dies, of course, right when she needs it most. Nkosi eventually finds her, and she runs into his arms, crying that Mkhulu fell. The way Nkosi just looked at the body and whispered, "He's dead, Khwezi," gave me goosebumps. That silence that followed, way too real. And here's where things get messy, because instead of calling the police, they start planning how to dispose of the body. Like, what? Khwezi suggests a dustbin. A dustbin. I actually had to pause and process that. Nkosi tries to stay calm, saying he'll handle it. And next thing you know, he's pushing a trolley with Mkhulu's body stuffed in a beige bag. This man looked like he was doing night shift at a warehouse, except he's moving a corpse. Meanwhile, Lehasa's losing his mind. He's storming around asking where Khwezi is, convinced she's in danger. And honestly, the irony is hard to ignore. The woman he's trying to save is literally dragging a Sangoma's body across a building. His scene with Stanley was tense though. The power struggle between them is growing. Stanley reminding Lehasa he owns 50% of the business. You could see that bruise his ego. Back at the hospital, we finally get some relief. Lizzie tells Mantuli it wasn't a stroke but a panic attack, and I think that's important. It shows how emotionally fragile Mantuli's become after everything with Sifiso and her kids. When she admits that Sifiso brushed her off, you can see the heartbreak, and I love how Kwaito comforted her instead of judging her. For once, that family feels like it's starting to heal. But then we cut straight back to Khwezi, and the tone just drops again. Lehasa walks in on her and Stanley, accusing them of hiding something, and you can tell she's scrambling to hold her story together. She's defensive, emotional, and the more Lehasa pushes, the more suspicious she looks. The tension in that room, unreal. By the end, Nkosi's seen pushing the trolley out with Mkhulu's body inside, whispering "oh" as he leaves. And that little word carried so much weight, like he finally realized what he's gotten himself into. Overall, this episode was intense. Khwezi's in deep trouble, and Nkosi's loyalty might end up costing showing him everything. The Kwaito Mantuli storyline balanced out the chaos with some real emotion, but it's clear the Khwezi storyline is about to explode. I have to say though, Skeem Saam writers are doing a brilliant job building suspense. The pacing, the camera work, that quiet moment after the fall, everything worked perfectly. But what did you guys think? Do you believe Khwezi really feels guilty? Or is this just another act? That's all for today. Make sure to subscribe and I'll catch you in the next video.